Cryptocurrency, DeFi, NFTs? Sounds confusing? BitLab Academy is here to help. We make it simple. Start investing in crypto, learn trading fundamentals, learn to mint and trade NFTs. Join our community today. Crypto for beginners, taught by the pros.
Welcome to Rice TVx. You've just tuned in for the newest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. And today I am joined by Bill Noble. He is a senior market analyst for Token Metrics, providing data-driven investment research. We're going to learn about everything that Token Metrics has to offer. And if you decide after watching today's video that you want to use Token Metrics, be sure to use my affiliate link, as it is another way to support the channel. I will have that linked down below in the video description and also in the comments section as the pinned comment. Before we get into it, visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVx content. You will also find my various social media links and more. You can also find Rice TVx on Odyssey and Library, where I have a full catalog of my videos, post up extra content, and share other appearances. And you can also find Rice TVx on BitChute. To support Rice TVx directly, you can contribute or send tips to PayPal, to Cash App, or cryptocurrencies via my Cointree link in the video description. Everything is appreciated. Another way to support what I do is by joining my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more. I will include links in the video description for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything shared on today's video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on today's show is Bill Noble. He is the Senior Market Analyst for Token Metrics. Bill, I appreciate you coming on Rice TVx. How are you doing today?
I'm good, sir. Thanks for having me.
Well, again, I appreciate you accepting my invitation. I do want to let people know in advance that I have partnered up with Token Metrics, and I do have an affiliate link that will be down below in the video description. I'm doing this video so that I and everyone else can learn a lot more about what Token Metrics is doing. It's a great tool to help you with the cryptocurrency markets, and we'll learn a lot more about it. If you're interested in utilizing Token Metrics and you're not already, be sure to use my affiliate link. Again, it'll be in the video description. I'll pin it in the comment section, and it's another way to support the channel. So, Bill, before we get into it, do you mind kind of giving a little bit of a background as to who you are and how and when you got in crypto?
Certainly. So I have a, broad background going back to the first Gulf War in legacy markets. So I did currencies, bonds, 12 years at Goldman in equities. And then somebody who used to read my work during the most volatile periods, like in 2008, called me up one day. He's like, "Hey, Bill, why don't you take a look at crypto?" So I actually started charting it by hand. That's kind of my hobby. And as soon as I realized that this, electronic world had a very natural rhythm to it. Okay. So from there, I was like, I had the bug. I found Charlie Shrem running through an airport, messaged him on LinkedIn. And I was like, "Hey, man, do you need an analyst?" And he said, yes. So I went over and I started combining, bonds, currencies, and crypto together. I did the bear market of 2018 with that group. And then I found Ian Balina. And that's when I went from like the Bitcoin world into the altcoin universe, got quite the education. And then I became like a YouTube show host when Ian discovered that the old guy could talk on TV. So here we are today.
This right here is one of your handwritten charts, right?
Right. So somebody said, "Don't ever put that out there." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to put it out there anyway." So it follows the work of William Gann, right? And I chart the markets by hand. Gann made $50 million trading during the Depression using some of these techniques. So, at Token Metrics, we have a wide range of things we do, right? We have artificial intelligence and machine learning, research, YouTube, and then all the way down to charting it by hand with the aim of giving our customers the best tools and the best research as to where is the market going next.
What show is it that you said that you host on the Token Metrics YouTube channel?
All right, I do what's called the Market Update. That's our daily live stream.
Monday through Friday.
Right, so Monday through Friday.
What time do you do it at a regular time, or is it just Monday through Friday?
No, it's Monday through Friday every day at 1 Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
That's right. So
okay, cool.
Go ahead. Yes.
Well, I definitely want people to check this out. So, I mean, if they want more information about the things that we're going to be talking about and you're interested in signing up for Token Metrics, I would encourage you to also make sure you're going over to the YouTube channel, subscribing. And this way you can check out Bill's Monday through Friday market update that takes place live. And do you share your handwritten charts in the live streams?
Well, sometimes I bring them on the live streams. Sometimes the live streams are like TradingView, another software, Token Metrics, right? We try to keep as much Token Metrics as we can, but we bring in what we have to give viewers and customers, the best read on what's going to happen next in the market.
Okay, well said, well said. And I mean, it's definitely a really good team that's behind Token Metrics. I mean, this is something that I partnered up a few months ago via Zach McKenna. Shout out to Zach. Thank you for the hookup. And I've been impressed with everything about the platform. I just haven't, because of traveling, as I was telling you before we started recording, I haven't had a chance to really put some emphasis on it. And now that we're at a part of the cryptocurrency markets, which seems to be the bear cycle, it's a really good time for people to be able to invest in themselves by researching projects, make sure they're legit, check out charts, kind of get a strategy going. And that's a lot of what you guys provide in your services, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight, because this is, everybody thinks about these things when the bull market's going on, and right, that's not necessarily the best time to be making investment decisions, because you could be buying it on tops and not really know where the market is headed if you don't do the right research. So do you agree with that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the next 5 years, what's going to be big 5 years from now in crypto is either not out yet or is in the small and micro cap universe, right? So we can help you find those coins so you can do further research, and our artificial intelligence helps with that. And then we've got signals for the broader market and bigger coins. So we've got a great example from Luna where, we can tell you when to get out. So Token Metrics helps you on the long side by finding like the hidden gems, and it kind of acts like car insurance, right? It can help you, sort of get out and avoid problems, right? And protect your portfolio from harm.
Which a lot of people should be wanting, is protecting their portfolio from harm 100%. So
right.
What would...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You were going to say something. I interrupted you.
No. So, if you look at, what you're looking at there, that's kind of on our homepage, right? Mm-hmm. It's really interesting how this works. So you'll be like, wow, really, a red and a green dot? What is that? Okay. Well, here's how it works. We have artificial intelligence give a grade to every coin in our universe. All right. And then each individual little grade is kind of aggregated into like a buy or a sell signal for the entire market, right?
For the total cryptocurrency market cap.
That's right. Except we're looking at every individual coin's rank and putting it all together. So it's not just a moving average system, on total crypto market cap. It's an AI grade for everything that we boil down into one signal. So when you have this here, right, you have the 3 months, right, and up in the top right, if you clicked, say, a year, what we have is we have this theory called beware the failed rally. That's how I started, talking about this decline, right? So on the right-hand side, you can see that, there was enough market momentum for things to go green. But quickly, the rally failed, and then the system and the grades dropped for all the coins, and our system went negative, right? So after that failed rally, which usually will start a bear move, that was where everybody was like, okay, well, maybe this is good or maybe it's bad, but I'm not going to pay attention. And we were like, no, beware the failed rally. Don't feed the bear. Don't turn your back on the bear. These were themes that were on our YouTube show, the Market Update, right? And research for our customers. And I got it from looking at this. Now, this is actually new and it's free this week. It's called the Markets page, right?
Okay.
So, you may have to sign up for it by the time the video comes out. I'm not sure, but the new Markets page. Now, if you scroll down like you did here, okay, you've got this dial. It sort of looks like fear greed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like the fear and greed index.
Right, but it's different. So this little dial will show you the percentage of coins, right, that are above a 60-day exponential moving average. So what you have is you have this signal and everyone's going to go, okay, gee, Bill, that's nice. The market's down. Only 7% of the coins are above their 60-day average. What does that tell you? Well, what it tells you is you have a deeply oversold market. And what we've learned from talking to our quant analysts and what I remember from my equities experience is that frequently the biggest moves to the downside occur when a market is deeply oversold and really can't recover and bounce. So if like you look at, say, an RSI, right? You would see an RSI at 25 and go, oh, well, this has got to bounce, right? Well, historically, you got low RSI or you've got our token metrics indicator showing that, most coins have been knocked down and still on the mat, right? That could mean another decline is coming. We think probably on Memorial Day or just after, okay, that there could be something else. So if you're saying, well, my portfolio's already down 60%, all right, and I don't care, I'm just going to let it go. Well, we want to token metrics. We want to try to protect you and let you know that, you might want to be more aware and more active. Either you got to hedge or reduce risk because unfortunately it might fall another 50%, right? We're sort of scared about an event because we look at all types of stuff, not just our website, but, other things like, what kind of securities is Tether holding, right? And if you scroll down one more time, there's a couple new features that we have, right? So are you in a bullish regime or are you in a bearish regime? We're obviously in a bearish regime right now. The green line is altcoin market cap. The white line is total market cap. And the yellow is Bitcoin. So one thing that is interesting if there is a final thrust lower is that frequently what we've seen is you get bottoms when altcoin market cap and Bitcoin market cap get really close to each other. And this is just another visual where, you can check it out where things switch from red to green, right? Because when it goes green to red, that's when you get out. In the meantime, you can do your research. So if there is a huge flush down, right? Okay, yeah, it's not going to go green just yet, but you want to be ready with the altcoins that you've got an eye on. And we have a way when we go to another part of the website, on the screen share, so I can help you find. So if you scroll down one more time, you've got this, this is just an indicator where you can see, hey, altcoins are hot and you might want to stay with altcoins when the indicator is up in altcoin season. And then back in the red, that's obviously when people are pulling back and getting themselves in Bitcoin, right? So when it's kind of Bitcoin season, that's an indication that smart money may be hiding in Bitcoin and staying away from altcoins. One other takeaway from this indicator is that a lot of the times when you get slammed, when people go, okay, I'm out of alts, I'm going into Bitcoin, it can take the market a little while to recover from that, for altcoins to start coming back into favor.
Right.
So these are, these are some of our quant metrics. And I think if you scroll down one more, this is a little bit fancier on the quant side. So when you have a huge market move, volatility or fear rises. Okay. And the yellow, the spikes, or just that yellow line, that's volatility. That's fear. Okay. Or as crypto people would say, it's a huge jump with the big daily moves. Right. So one of the things you'll know on this one, you got to look at it closely, but normally you get the huge spike in volatility like we got off Luna, and the actual bottom doesn't come until later. So the market's got to kind of lick its wounds after you get these huge spikes in volatility. These things, the calculation that shows you how much fear is in the market lets you know, hey, there might be one more flush and that could be the bottom. Now, if you go down one more time, we went a step further, and we're not just giving you an artificial intelligence grade for a coin. Like, for example, the grade on Bitcoin is 36, and it's probably a better buy when it's above 75 or 80. Now what we're doing is we're giving a grade to a sector. So like in the stock market, you'll have technology, oil, right? Consumer cyclicals or spending, etc. Now in crypto, you'll have, DeFi, Web3, gaming, metaverse. We aggregate all the coins and give the sector a grade. So you can be like, hey, when the bear market, when this sort of crash is over, right, you can say, all right, which sector comes off the mat first? Right. And that can give you a hint as to like, hey, all right, gaming and metaverse came all the way down, but it's starting to go green and come back. So we give you an AI-based grade on coins and on sectors, right? And if you roll down, I believe there's a really nifty, so we give you the top 20 performers and the worst 20 performers of the day. And then if you scroll down one more time, we've got this really neat thing called market movers.
Okay.
So this is like heavier on the quant math side.
It looks like artwork almost.
Almost. It's kind of cool the way our quant guys did this, right? They found, they say, okay, if coins are up, that's in the yellow. Okay. Are they up on strong volume? Just like on the downside, are they down on strong volume? Right. So not only you can scroll over each little dot individually and see which coins are moving on strong volume, right? Because you don't want to buy some small coin that's been pumped by one buy order. Okay. You want to be able to actually scroll over the dots and say, wow, this coin is moving up or down on volume.
Well, let me ask you real quick. Is there a way of like zooming in and kind of separating some of this cluster? Because it's kind of hard, I guess, unless you just move your mouse to determine which coin happens to be in this particular spot.
Right. I think it's designed to filter out the coins that are making the biggest moves, right? I'm sure they'll be able to break it down individually eventually, but I think it's designed to tell you what are the biggest movers on the best volume.
Oh, that's cool. So you could change up the whole layout with it. You can have positive daily price percentage change, and then you could change that to being just negative, I believe. Yeah, so there would be the negative. That's pretty interesting. And then you can have the combination of the two. That would kind of give you a better way of zooming in. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a really good indicator because, obviously we want to give people the best way to try to find coins. Like Tokenmetrics does have indices, right? Like, if you hit the indices tab when you're logged in, or I can go through it on a screen share.
I am logged in. I can hit it unless this is something that you want to screen share. Let me know which way to go.
All right. Well, why don't I try the screen share, and I can do the demo on Luna.
Okay.
Right. This is like the car insurance portion, right? So do you see my screen here? This is the
I see in the back. I want to pull it up now because I know you're not going to be able to see the screen at this point. So it does. I have everything pulled up. I see the Terra. I see the chart that kind of resembles the fear and greed index.
Right. So we'll have that for every coin, right? Tougher to see in dark mode. Obviously, Luna is done, but I have a better demonstration of this. What I wanted to show you is this new feature. Okay, the yellow line is the token metrics AI-based grade. And frequently what we look for is we always are looking for coins where the AI grade moves in advance of price. So if you go over here to like February, the grade started at 17 when Luna was at 50. And then the grade spiked up, okay, to like 87%, right, when Luna was at 78, right? So as the grade went up, Luna went up, right? And then the grade stayed up, and then Luna continued up to 116. Now, here's the important part. The important part is when the grade fell out of bed, right? Like the grade topped when Luna was at 102 and the grade was at 88. And then the grade, right, went all the way down to 19 when Luna was at 81. So there's not a lot of people out there that have seen this movie, but I call this the Close Encounters of the Third Kind formation, right? It's a mountain. It goes up, straight sideways, and then down. And when that grade crashes, because people always ask, it's like, dude, I have a coin. How do I know when to get out? Well, when that token metrics AI grade crashed, when Luna was at 80, right? When the grade crashes, get out. Okay, that's the time to sell. Okay, and you know, we have another visual, right, where we use, you know, things like, you know, standard technical analysis, but it has an AI machine learning flavor to it, right? So this is somewhat similar to what we saw on the market page, except it's very coin specific, both TI and quant stuff, right?
Where the market page was a combination, was the entire crypto market. This is a focus on a particular token or cryptocurrency.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So Luna, right? So it went down, and like any momentum system, you know, it'll see a thrust down and probably get you out. But where the token metrics AI came in was when Luna rallied here, right? It didn't get back in. Remember, beware the failed rally? And then it turned and it went. So right here in red, the AI between this and the last one, the AI said out and stay out, right? And that was sort of the way token metrics can provide you with insurance. Because if there's going to be another one of these things happening around Memorial Day, all right, you're going to need the market indicators. You're going to need stuff to help find small coins, etc. All right. So I've got another one here.
Can I pause you real quick, Bill? Because I want to ask you, like, based off of what you were just showing, had somebody been utilizing the token metric services, would they have gotten an advance notice that this is a good time to potentially sell your tokens, your Terra Luna specifically, and UST, because of what the AI and your technical analysis was reading? Would that be a correct assumption?
Yes, that would be. So here,
there were a lot of people that got wrecked, but I'm sure that if people were utilizing your service, they may have been able to save their assets.
Right. So here you had on April 11th, Luna was at 82. The token metrics grade crashed to 33 and eventually went to 19, right? So once the grade crashed, that was the end. That was like the signal to get out of Luna.
And that's out of 100?
Right. So the grade goes from, you know, normally it's like 15 to 80 is like, or 85 is the normal range. I have seen grades at 90, right? So when the AI is like lowers the grade, right, and gets out, that's the sign to get out of the coin. So the grade crashed well in advance of the crash in Luna, right? The grade went up a little, but it never went back to that buy zone at 80. And then we had that other indicator here, right, which is the, you know, we call it the low frequency trading strategy, which uses different elements. So the answer to your question is yes. If you've been using token metrics and you were long Luna, you would have known you would have been out at 80 and not gotten back in on this rally up.
Okay, that's good to know. Because again, like, I know, and it's very unfortunate that there were a lot of people that got wrecked out of that situation.
Right. Yeah, it's important because one of the things we do with token metrics is we have the AI and the machine learning, right? The software program, but we've also got analysts, right? There's me, and there are a lot of guys who focus on, gaming, metaverse, NFTs. The premium plan has, a webinar every Wednesday where, I'll go through a more detailed version and a much more direct version of what I do on the market update, where we're really telling people when to get in, when to get out, and why.
That's smart. I'm leaving your screen up still, so but I was going to do a real quick ad of let people know that if they go to the Token Metrics website, there is a team page which goes over all the different individuals that are involved with the completion. And actually, this is just really more of the leadership team, which is more of your CEOs and your chief technology officer. What about all of your different analysts? Is there a place on the website that's got everybody that contributes like yourself?
Well, I don't think we have an analyst page. We were founded by Ian Balina, who was, really the first guy to use quantitative metrics to figure out ICOs back in the day. And then he, took it to another level with token metrics. We have guys, some of which I helped come up, that do NFTs, right? They were actually on my stream today doing hidden gems. So, and our chief quant guy is there as well on that page. And, he's got a lot of hedge fund experience.
Okay.
He works with the guys, in other words, we have machine learning and AI guys, and then we have finance mathematics guys who all work together to make the token metrics AI to effectively teach the machines how to understand price action.
That's smart.
Right. And that's, machine learning is really complex because, you kind of teach the machine to learn, and then the machine literally goes off on its own. Right. And literally just keeps learning. So the more price action it sees, the smarter it gets about crypto.
That's a good thing about these learning AIs is the fact that the more information you feed them, the more precise that they can be with how they're able to make predictions. And, it's obviously been something that's been useful in a lot of different fields. So here on the About Me, I always say About Me, but on the About page for Token Metrics, it talks about individual ratings for 6,000 plus coins, daily, weekly, monthly model crypto portfolios, rolling daily price predictions on 6,000 plus cryptocurrencies, long and short frequency trade indicators, social sentiment data from Twitter, Reddit, Telegram, on-chain data from Bitcoin and Ethereum, daily written and watchable market updates, access to 10 plus crypto shows on their custom TV platform, TV platform. What is the I didn't know that there was, because I'm learning some things about Token Metric too, which is the reason why I'm doing this. Is there a separate platform with videos other than the YouTube channel?
Yes, there is. So if you go back to my screen share, I actually have it pulled up. Okay. So let me know. Can you see those little tiles like Netflix? All right. So we literally have something that looks like Netflix, right? Where all the different analysts, because you were asking where they are. Okay. So we have a guy, I do the market update. We have a guy that does crypto deep dives. These two guys here are the NFT analysts. All right. And what this is you can download this on a tablet, your phone, or a television. I think the app is TMTV in the App Store. So it's the same stuff that we do on YouTube, but if you want to watch it on television,
scroll down a little bit because I think it says it right there on the screen. Yeah, how to use TM. Right above that line of videos. It's the last one over with the green thumbnail. It's got a green Up one more. Yeah. How to
Right.
use TM.
Right. How to use TM. That's from one of our quant mathematics guys. Right. So you've literally got, everything from the daily market update. We had like a women in crypto series where we interviewed a lot of prominent women in crypto. Right. And then, for the market update, right, you can see all of our live streams. Right. You can see different series that we have. And these are all the different guys who do the talking. Like here's the NFT show, right? This is called NFT Hidden Gems, right? And these are all the different NFTs that they cover, and you can watch it on your TV.
Now, what I was looking at while you were talking was seeing how many of these replicated over on YouTube. It doesn't seem like there's a lot. So it looks like there's a lot of exclusive videos here. Is that correct?
Well, all the videos were released on YouTube, but what we decided to do is, since we put out a lot of content about different things, right? The TMTV platform is really helpful for somebody who just wants to sit down and watch crypto for, say, 30 minutes to 2 hours. Instead of sitting at a computer, you can actually do it at a television.
Okay.
So it's like, and by the way, this is actually free.
I was going to ask if that was only available for people who signed up for Token Metrics. That's cool. I'll have a link for this as well in the video description.
Yeah. So Token Metrics TV is another, unique function. We added another thing recently where, instead of making you dig through the grades and stuff like that, right? So we have down here, we have grade versus price, which of course is helpful because I showed you that example from Luna, right? But we've also simplified it into like an equity style dial, like fear and greed, to where, the AI, once it picks up on momentum one way or the other, gives you that strong green or strong red signal. So obviously, Bitcoin up today, but not doing well in general in terms of the grade. So you might be asking yourself, should I FOMO into a rally? Well, one of the ways you can figure out whether or not to FOMO is check the grade. If it's like neutral or lower, maybe not, right? And then there's like the hidden gems component. So I have an analyst every day. Let me see if I can actually share this. So this is almost old school. So we have an analyst who looks at, this column here in yellow. We're looking for instances where the AI goes, ooh, right? And the grade jumps. So, in Honeybee, we saw a 32% change, right? The grade went up 32%. So then what I'll do is I'll click on this, right? And then one of the things we do on the show is we look and we see that Honeybee, right, is actually on a buy, which is interesting, right? Now, of course, there's no market cap rank. These are low market cap coins. So not investment advice. And then you can pop maybe a trading view chart up and take a look. There's not a lot of price action here, right? But you can look at trading view in addition to seeing whether or not it's a buy or a sell, and do your own research from there. Okay, let's see, get one more. So, ticker symbol LOV, right? It's on a strong buy, right? And that's because you see that yellow line, that's the token metrics grade shooting up potentially before price shoots up.
Okay.
So let's try this. So this is a better trading view chart. So the AI is picking up on all this volume, right? And it's picking up on all this green over here. And the AI is saying, hey, this has upside potential. And what I tell people about, coins like this that, they have no market cap. So obviously it's not investment advice and you have to do your own research. Okay. But remember, the future of crypto is out there somewhere. And how are you going to figure it out unless you've got like an AI or machine learning tool? Okay. Now, just to sort of drive the point home, right? We do, and this is This can be better when the market is recovering. All right. But it also has another warning aspect to it. So what token metrics will do is we'll say, all right, let's say you want a day trade, right? Or you want to have a couple trades on. All right. And you can say, all right, the AI will go through every exchange and give you almost like a portfolio, right, of the 5 best coins that it finds across exchanges. So what's this useful for? Well, it can be useful for finding small cap coins. It can also be useful if the AI goes to all stable coins and gold. Like I have seen it multiple times where when the AI tells you the best trades for today is Tether Gold, oil, mirrored Amazon, and, DAI, that the market's going down. So this is another early warning signal. Then if you look up over here, right, you say, all right, well, I like to trade on crypto.com. So this will pull up, right, updates at basically midnight every night, I believe, or 1 a.m. This was the AI's crypto.com picks for today.
Okay.
So it has it for like each exchange, right? So like say you're someone confined to Coinbase Pro, right? Notice, remember going back to like altcoin and Bitcoin season? Notice how, the AI is doing a lot of hiding in Bitcoin, right? It's trying to stay away from certain altcoins. And one of the best indices that I have found is Kraken, right? The Kraken index has served me well in up markets. So as soon as this market gets done with whatever problem is going to happen around Memorial Day, this is going to be more helpful, right? And then, when it comes time to speculate again, you can go to say Gate.io, and then you can pick less than 30 million market cap. Okay. And you can get super small coins, right? So,
nice.
Right. So token metrics provides, ideas when it's going up, insurance when it's going down, and it allows you, to find the stuff that's trading for nothing. Because remember, right? Remember Cardano, Synthetics, Chainlink, a lot of that stuff all went to zero during the last bear market. I'm not saying everything's going to zero, but sometimes the best time to do homework, right, is when things are going down. That's the best time to buy a research tool. Most people get really discouraged. Understandably, I know people get wrecked. And I empathize with those people because I had to be an analyst in the last bear market, right? This I view as more of a crash, like 1929. Now that won't resonate with most people, but it will allow for serious discounts, right after Memorial Day into June, and possibly around July 4th is when you're really maybe going to want to start scooping some of this stuff up.
Okay. You did a really good job of explaining a lot of what's offered on token metrics in it. And I'd like to be able to continue bringing you or someone else or a variety of people on for future interviews. I want to kind of dig a little deeper because you keep talking about Memorial Day. Now,
Right.
we're recording this video on the 19th of May. I'm going to be putting it out the beginning of next week. So we shouldn't be off on time. It should be giving people a good, it's either going to be coming out on Monday or Tuesday, which looking at my calendar would be the 23rd or 24th. And I believe it's the following weekend is Memorial Day weekend,
Right.
The 28th, 29th. Memorial Day is the 30th. Let me make sure that's 100% correct, just so I'm good on my times, and then we can dig into this. So Memorial Day weekend, the 30th. Yes. Okay. So it'll have a good week before, roughly a week before people, when this video comes out, to people see it. So what the hell? What the hell, man? What are you building up for? What do you, and this is all just, this is just me and you talking now. This isn't just speculative, because obviously you're not a time traveler, I don't believe. And nobody has seemed to be able to call markets 100% from what I can tell, unless you are a time traveler, which I don't believe you are. So what's going on in your head, Bill? What's happening on Memorial Day?
Okay, so right around Memorial Day, we're going to find out what happens when, say, Bitcoin is down 8 weeks in a row. Like if you look at Bitcoin versus Tether, so BTC, USDT on Binance, you look at the weekly chart, right? If there's a down close this week, right, Bitcoin will be down 8 weeks in a row. Now, if you look at altcoins like Solana, I don't know, the eighth week.
It just printed 6 or 7 weekly red candles for the first time, right?
Right, since 2014.
Since 2014. Okay, so this has occurred before. What about 8? What about 8 candles? Has that occurred before?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
so where we have seen 8 candles, according to my quant chief, was
it 2008?
Well, actually, it was more like 1929.
Oh shit!
Right.
Oh god, man, that was like the great stock market crash that led into, or was the Great Depression, right?
Well, yes, that's true, but what that really was a giant margin call, right? The thing you need to know about 29 versus crypto today is, in 29, everybody got margin called, companies blew up, people couldn't borrow money, and there was a liquidity problem. So one of the reasons why I'm bringing this to everybody's attention now is, I don't know if it's another Luna or there's a problem in legacy, right? Junk bonds and things like that have been blowing up. And frankly, I'm not convinced that Tether is fully collateralized. Like, I don't think it's going to be another Luna, but Tether may own some questionable things, questionable debt instruments. All right. The point is, we don't know. And
well,
yes,
I had said you said that, and as I interrupt, I just want to keep the flow. I heard that they had owned a lot in Evergrande.
Right.
So a lot of the Chinese real estate that has defaulted, they had a lot of investments in, but we're speculating because this hasn't gone out 100% public. But I'm wondering if there's going to be, with the stablecoin regulation that they're going to be trying to push from the United States, I'm wondering if they're going to want more transparency from Tether, because we know that USDC, which was Goldman Sachs baby from Circle Invest, partnered up with Coinbase, created USDC, and it's 100% one-for-one backed, audited. We know it's good. Tether's kind of a question, but when it comes down to it, Bill, when it really comes down to it, if Tether was back 50%, 75%, it's still better than what the government is doing in the Federal Reserve with our fiat money system.
Oh, listen, totally true, right? I mean,
not trying to come to Tether's aid, but our government does this on the faith of the government by decree, but backed by nothing, zero.
Right. And that may also be a problem in places like Japan and Europe, where people start losing faith in the government and in central banks, right? And there, like you said, there's also like that Chinese real estate hiccup. Okay, so I don't want to FUD storm everybody, but the 2008 connection, like, yeah, we do have a chart that shows stocks are moving the way they were in 2008, where, Memorial Day lines up as an inflection point. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, but what I do want to say is, nobody thought Luna was a problem until it was. And you can't have, tens and possibly hundreds of billions of dollars vanish and not have some sort of ripple effect, right?
So what you were saying about Memorial Day, though, you're not limiting it to just cryptocurrencies. You're talking about macroeconomics, full scale. You're talking about everything,
right? I'm talking about, I'm thinking it could be stocks and crypto with a possible hiccup and Chinese real estate. Because 3 days ago, right, all of a sudden, stocks looked okay, and then all of a sudden everything got slammed. I mean, Kramer on CNBC said that was one of the worst days he's ever seen. Now, of course, that's a joke, right? 3% down.
It became a big meme, yeah. But I know what you're talking about.
Right. So, I mean, crypto, you get up from your desk for a coffee break, you come back, it can go down 3%. But, his noting that will tell you about the fervor that somebody was selling in equities. And I remember back in 08 or whatever, a lot of times the motto at Wall Street is don't sell what you want to, sell what you can. So if people start unloading on S&P futures, they may also start unloading on crypto. So I just don't want people to get caught again, because like, remember the Gann work that you're talking about? We kind of try to match it up. So I had some Gann work that suggests, maybe around June 1. And then there's our AI. Remember how I was telling you it was deeply oversold, not getting off the mat? And then if you look at all these other things, like big hedge funds in crypto keep sending out memos telling you everything is okay. Tether's publishing something that everything is okay. Oh,
you're talking about Coinbase with their terms of services that if you lose your funds, you're just SOL. I think Celsius just recently came out with one recently. Yeah, so it's very timely that they're doing this, because I brought up the fact that there are cryptocurrency wallets that have bank connections that are actually insured by FDIC, because somebody was like, crypto's not insured by this, but they are. So it is possible. So for these warnings to come out, to me, means something a lot more. And tell me if you agree with this, Bill, because when you mentioned 2008, and I'm not like a master economist or anything, I'm very much an amateur, but try to learn as much as I can. And it appears from what I'm gathering, 2008 was the end of our fiat system. We've just kept it on life support. Put it on life support, they become zombies. And all of that in 2019, because we see all the quantitative easing happen. QE 1, 2, and 3. 2019, we had the inverted yield curve. 2020, we experienced a recession, unbeknownst to even me. Because of all that money printing, we really didn't feel the recession. We just hit another inverted yield curve. So they keep trying to keep this system on life support, but we're at the end, and then we keep hearing all this rhetoric about this great reset, all the CBDC talk. I was just reading something today about where there's interconnections between all the CBDCs to make it like an easy flow highway, so that there's just a complete financial system that's closed. So everything that you're saying makes complete sense, because anybody who studies anything about the financial markets knows that we're just waiting for that event. What is it going to be? A lot of people thought it would have been the Chinese real estate defaults. There was a lot of talk a year or two ago about the Deutsche Bank and the derivatives that they hold.
That's right.
And something happened where they came in and propped that up somehow. So
right.
They just keep putting Band-Aids on these situations, and they're not fixing it. And it's just, but you got the Federal Reserve coming out trying to talk about fixing a problem that they created, and people are actually having faith in that.
Right. So, I mean, the Fed created this problem by printing money after 2008. They were never able to wean the market off the sugar, right? The sugar being the printed money. Then all the sugar resulted in the tummy ache, which is this incredible inflation problem. Now, ironically, the Fed very quietly would just like the market to go down. The only way to control inflation is to bring the market down. So the Fed actually wants the market to go down. And then there's this thing like what you said, where people may have assets on their books that they don't like. They're no good. They may have to sell. And guess what? The Fed's not going to buy it from them this time, right? And then you got other situations where people may start losing confidence in central banks. That's Japan and Europe. So there's a lot of weird stuff out there, and weird stuff creates forced selling. Like what was Luna and UST? It was forced selling.
That or just watching your money just go to zero.
Right.
If you didn't, it didn't force you to sell, but it would have been prudent of you to do so if you wanted to maintain keeping anything. Because Carl the Moon, he was saw some videos where he had lost like close to $2 million, and he said that was just a small percentage of his portfolio, but how that could have been used in other areas. But that is now worth, I think, $50 because he didn't sell it, none of it. I mean, he may have taken some profit at some point where it worked out for him, but in the long run, his whatever he had remaining literally went to
zero.
Yeah, pretty much. And and now we hear all the talk about the fork and an airdrop, and I'm not even sure what I think about Taekwondo anymore.
Right. Well, you know, those guys, those people don't realize that the Federal Reserve has a regulatory arm. When I worked in Wall Street, you know, we were just as afraid, or our compliance and legal people were just as scared of the Fed as they were the SEC. And when you start building something that's supposed to mirror the US dollar, these guys are going to meet the men in black from the Federal Reserve. And so are probably a lot of the hedge funds that supported Luna, right? So when I was talking forced selling, I was talking about institutions, people who are told to unload. Okay. No one might own, you know, that the 08 connection was, you know, people stopped loaning money to each other. They're like, oh, you've got XYZ crypto on your book. Oh, I'm not loaning you money anymore. Or you were caught in Luna. I'm not loaning you money. And that's when these things can start spiraling. And the more people tell me, like the more hedge funds say everything is all right, the more I'm convinced it's not. Now, naturally, our heart goes out to people, big or small, you know, who watched wealth vaporize. And what I tell people, you know, on the market update, and we tell our customers all the time, the best investment strategy is the one that helps you sleep at night. And obviously, you have to have trading capital for crypto or investing capital, but your sanity is also really important. When you talked about that gentleman that had $2 million disappear, he may be hesitant to jump in when this thing finally bottoms out. So we want people to be prepared now. So, okay, yeah, I sound like a little bit of a fudster, but I'd rather sound the alarm now, right? So that you got something later. You can grab yourself token metrics, right? Stay with your channel, stay with anybody that you believe can help you, right? And then you can, you know, get back into the game. Whereas if you don't, you wind up with what's called revulsion, which is also called rage quitting on Twitter. So we don't want that for you, right? My viewers, your viewers, or token metrics customers.
Right. No, I 100% agree. 100% agree, man. And I appreciate you kind of going beyond, you know, talking what Coin Metrics is doing, because I mean, we are in a really interesting period financially, and I've been trying to interview a variety of people to be able to get different perspectives. And when you mentioned kind of competing against the US dollar, which a stable coin technically doesn't compete against the US dollar because it uses the US dollar as its backbone. But an algorithmic stablecoin is not technically backed by like a dollar per se, could come into play as being a threat. And I've actually had the honor of interviewing this guy named Bernard von Nothaus. He was the creator of the Liberty Dollar back in the 90s. Okay. Do you remember that movement?
You know what? That sounds somewhat familiar.
He ultimately ended up getting arrested. They tried getting him for counterfeiting and domestic terrorism charges. Counterfeiting money when he created his own currency that was an alternative to the dollar, and they looked at it as competition. But it was kind of a precursor to Bitcoin in a physical sense, and it also may be one of the reasons why Satoshi Nakamoto as an individual or group remained anonymous, because I think the first thing that would happen right now if Satoshi was to come out in some form and admit who him, he, she, they are, that they would be arrested pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, that's entirely possible. And one of the things I'm telling people is I'm going back to when there was like the .com era. You know, it was like the age of the internet and everybody knew the world was going to change, except this giant crash happened over 2 years, right? And by the time it was over, right, even though people knew that they should have been getting long, they were just out. And that's what happens. Like, that's what's going to happen in crypto. Crypto's going to flush everyone out exactly at the moment where everything you just said kicks in, right? In other words, we're going to need the future of money right after everyone is done selling the future of money, which is crypto, right? So a crypto crash should make you want to get in not out, because crypto's importance will rise as soon as they're done selling it all, which is ironic.
That human psychology is what's ironic, you know, that you would want to psychologically buy in at the top versus being scared to buy in at the bottom, you know, when it should be obviously the opposite. And that's, you know, when people who make those risks are able to get those payoffs. So, and a lot of people don't really comprehend the fiat system. A lot of people don't understand that the dollar's not backed by anything anymore. A lot of people are still fooled. It's sad. It really is, as far as like the state. But I think that I think that's a good place to wrap up, man. I really enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate your time. I didn't expect for it to go this long, but I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. I hope you did as well.
I did.
So I will have
appreciate you
links.
having me.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. And I will, you know, I will say it again. I've had it flash across the screen, but if you guys are watching this and you're interested in signing up and using Token Metrics, again, make sure you're using my affiliate referral link. It's going to be in the video description, and I'll have it in the pinned comment on this video. We're recording this on the 19th of May. I will encourage you to check out the YouTube channel for Token Metrics, as well as follow them on Twitter. And again, make sure you're checking out the platform. I'll include Bill's Twitter as well. Before we wrap up, Bill, do you have any final thoughts or anything that you would like to add to the conversation?
All right, sir. Well, thank you for having me. And remember, you know, doing your homework pays off, right? And the best investment strategy is the one that helps you sleep at night. Don't forget about the future of crypto. The future of crypto is being formed as we speak. So if you can find a tool that can help you find it, then that's a good tool to have. And we hope you come join us over at Token Metrics.
That is a good tool to have, and that's a good ending, my friend, and I appreciate your time. If you could bear with me 1 second, just going to wrap up the recording of the video. Again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're checking out everything we shared on today's video. It will be linked in the video description. My affiliate link will also be pinned in the comment section as a pinned comment. If this happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, check out and explore my channel. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will leave you with this. Be blessed, be the change, practice change, and I'll see you on the next show.